Hi there! Today I'm going to look at lab exercise number 8 about balancing equations, and I'm going to choose chemical equation number 7. You see right here I'm going to use the tally mat and then the colored pegs I have over here on the side to use a visual representation of what it's like to balance an equation. So the equation that I'm doing is Mg plus Mn2O3 yields MgO plus Mn. You see I've written that at the top of the tally mat. I don't have any coefficients in front of them because there's no coefficients to start with. And at the bottom I've assigned the color red to oxygen, blue to Mn, and green to magnesium. So to start with, I'm just going to put the color peg below the element that it's representing with as many atoms as shown in the beginning. There's one magnesium on the reactant side. There are two Mn's on the reactant side. And there's 3 oxygens, which are red, on the reactant side. As I go to the product side, I see 1 Mg, so that's 1 green, 1 oxygen, and then 1 Mn, which is blue. So far, the only elements that have the same amount of atoms on the reactant side and the product side is the Mg. So I'm going to leave that alone for the time being. What I can do is go ahead and multiply the Mn and use a coefficient of 2 so that it balances out with the other side. There we go. Now I have 2 Mn on the reactant side and the product side. But I've got 3 oxygens on the reactant side and only 1 on the product side. So if I add 3 to the product side, my coefficient would now be 3 in front of the Mg and O. Well, that also means that now there are 3 Mg. So I'm going to add 2 more Mg over here. So far we have balance with the 2 Mn on either side and the 3 oxygens on both sides. So right now I've got a coefficient of 2 in front of the Mn2O3. Sorry, I have a coefficient of 1. I've got a coefficient of 3 in front of the MgO and a coefficient of 2 in front of the Mn. But we've got to balance out the magnesiums on both sides, and since magnesium is set apart in this chemical reaction, I can go ahead and add the 2 extra atoms by making the coefficient of the magnesium 3. So what I'll do, we initially started with 3 atoms on this side with oxygen and just 1 atom of oxygen on that side. We started with 2 atoms of the Mn on the reactant side, and we started with just 1 atom of the Mn on the product side. And we started with 1 magnesium and 1 magnesium. Since I've balanced this equation, we have a coefficient now of 3 Mg. It's still going to be 1 Mn2O3, so we did not put a coefficient in front of that. I've got 3 MgO, and now I have 2 Mn. So let's go back and tally up to make sure we're balanced. So now on this side I still have the 3 oxygens. I have now got, the 2 blue, I've still got the 2 blue, and I now have 3 magnesiums. On the product side, I have 3 magnesiums, I've got 3 oxygens, and I have 2 Mn. So now the equation is balanced, and the final equation is 3 Mg plus Mn2O3 yields 3 MgO plus 2 Mn. I'm going to show you what the final product looks like on the tally mat. That way you can see the work. If I can get this in focus. There you go. There you can see the work I've done to make a visual representation of what it means to balance an equation. Balancing equations are important because if we don't, then we're not obeying the law of the conservation of mass. Because mass can't change, and the compound and number of atoms within an element can't change. That's why we can add coefficients to them and multiply the number of molecules. I hope you've learned a lot from this activity, and see you soon.